It is probably one of the most talked about topics around a braai and around the dinner table, especially in Gauteng, when it comes to our driver's licenses and our driver's license renewals. It's always a bit of a problem, is it? But why is it a problem? Surely there's a better way of doing this. Let's find out what we're going to do as thousands of motorists now racing against time to beat the August 31st deadline that's been put in place to try and get our driver's licenses renewed. It's always a pleasure. Gauteng MEC for Roads and Transport, Mr. Jacob Mamabolo. MEC, good morning to you. And yes, we can discuss problems all day. You and I, you're aware of the problems, you acknowledge the problems, but we're going to talk about solutions. That's what I want to try and get out of our discussion this morning in our special focus. But we've just been hearing from motorists in Randburg, and also we had our reporter Latiwe down in Durban. It just takes so long, MEC. It's so cumbersome to get this done. And people want to. Law-abiding citizens want to renew their license. It's just so cumbersome to get it done through this online system. Can't we move the deadline?
Well, firstly, good morning to you, to all the viewers, and let me thank you for giving me the opportunity. I would like to say three things, maybe just to respond to the question you're raising. The very first one is that we are on record, the whole of government, having acknowledged the negative impact of COVID-19 on driver license operations, particularly personnel, capacity as it relates to the number of people you can have, because once a DLTC get, somebody get infected and you have to close, decontaminate. We have seen also, in July, we have lost a number of days with the lootings. We have a DLTC here that was completely looted. The second point I want to make is that today is a very important day. Minister Fikile Mbalula is going to make an announcement this morning. That announcement is going to bring much more needed clarity to everybody in the country about what direction we are taking. Thirdly, we as a province of Gauteng, with a huge and fast-growing vehicle population, we have got a set of measures to support our driver license card holders in the post-31st August period, so that anyone who will still be experiencing difficulties, we will have measures to support them to make sure that they're not in trouble. So those are the three critical points I'd like to make.
Okay, so that's good. So we'll wait for the briefing from the minister a little bit later. I don't want to speculate on what the minister is going to talk about.
Yes.
So we'll wait for the minister to come out with that. Of course, we'll have that here on ENCA. So then you're saying that there's going to be structures in place post-31st to help those who are still having problems with their expired licenses. Okay, so that's part of the solution going forward. Can we just talk for a moment, MEC, about what we're seeing in Randburg, in Verulam, and around the country? This e-Natus online booking system, I mean, it's been a problem for a few years. I understand the concept was to try and avoid the queuing. Book a slot, you arrive, like a doctor's appointment. You got a time to arrive, you go, you get your license, and out you go. It was meant to make things quicker. It's not really working, though, is it?
So let me just add to the complexity of the issue. The way I understand it is that you had people walking into the DLTCs, and you could have, let's take a number of 100, but you can only service, let's say, 50. Every time you have to cut that 50, so arbitrarily you just say the queue stops here, the rest have to go back home. These people are using money to travel. Tomorrow they come back. You cut, same people could still be in the queue, have to go back. So the approach was that allocate slots equivalent to your capacity to service. And with COVID-19, that actually helped, because you could have had people just coming in, stampede, and big numbers into DLTCs. That would have also caused problems. But the difficulty with the e-Natus booking system, of course, e-Natus is run by the Road Traffic Management Corporation. It's a national system. But it has a service to make online bookings. Now, the difficulty here is, in line with that principle of number of slots versus what you can service, we now have a challenge that COVID-19, less people, less capacity, and with the COVID-19 protocols, you work with half personnel, and sometimes it can even be lesser. We have got machines that we use to test, the eyes, and we check fingerprints, we scan your ID. Those machines are part of the 80% of capacity. Now, we already, National Department, also they are run by National Department. They've considered that, this is old technology, servicing it also in the context of COVID-19 getting the parts. You have a situation, I went to Hammanskraal. They're supposed to work with 8 machines. They are working with 2.
So you're aware of the aging infrastructure, and this is, you're acknowledging it. So what do we do?
The point I'm making is, quick error. The point I'm making is that you can only issue 100 slots?
If you can't.
If you can only service 20 people.
Exactly. So how do we fix this?
So today, when Minister makes the announcement, we are going to hear from the Road Traffic Management Corporation about the new equipment and machinery and systems that will be put in place to deal with the issue of the supply side and the capacity. That is going to be announced. For example, we know that with the banking system, Home Affairs has rolled out an online verification system with a fingerprint. That system belongs to the country. It's a capacity we have. It tells you, and we've got people whose fingerprints get rejected, you make multiple trips. But with the Home Affairs system, it verifies quick and fast. So I'm giving one example. For example, with the eye test, we've got optometrists who give you eye test certificate. Yes. So that tells you that that technology, which is actually constraining the capacity that we need, has actually outlived its usefulness in essence, because there are options, but it is for the Road Traffic Management Corporation to speak to that. I'm just demonstrating that post the 31st, we need a new normal. And that new normal is the systems, the technologies, the processes we have had before COVID-19, which, by the way, were also not even working well. We need to phase them out and start a new, completely new chapter that will make it easy, convenient, simple for people to renew their licenses. The second one, in Gauteng, we've got 40 DLTCs. We have got a huge population. We service people from the neighboring provinces. We can't service the demand we have with 40 DLTCs. 34 of them are run by municipalities, and you can imagine municipalities will be at various levels of efficiency. And then we are running only 6 as a province. Now, what is the next thing we're doing? Since November 2020, we have been working with the RTMC. We want to unveil a new set of DLTCs. And I don't want to preempt Minister's announcement, but we are going to increase, and we are ready.
So what I'm hearing, MEC, is there's actually, you're almost sitting here with good news. You can't quite give me the good news, but
people want answers now, and I have to wait for the minister.
But the answers are coming.
The answers are coming, definitely.
Good.
We are also looking at, let me also say this to you. In January this year, we piloted an SMS system, because we agreed that we don't need to be looking for a slot as a law-abiding citizen. Why should you be battling to look for a slot?
Why must you make us work to be legal?
So we piloted a system that says, let us give people slots, check on the e-NITIS system. You can see whose license is expiring when. Give them a slot where you have it. So we designed that system, we piloted it and tested it. We issued lots of SMSs giving people slots. We tell you, you are booked at point B, Rambek, at this time. 130,000 card holders did not take up their slots. That obviously has got another huge implications. It clogs the system. Now with the penny coming next week, Tuesday, obviously those people are in the space, on social media and all that. So the point I want to emphasize and plead with our card holders is that we need a partnership. We can't continue to work and talk past each other, point fingers and blame. So one of the solutions, we're increasing the number of DLTCs. And I'm not talking next year. We will announce immediately after the minister. You'll hear us about how many new ones will come in, and they are going to work differently.
So we're talking soon.
We're talking soon, as in next week.
Okay.
There will be one or two that will add.
I like this. We're getting some good news.
So we're getting something. The details will be announced.
Okay.
What is the second solution we're providing? This SMS system where we give you slots is going to continue. Because when people were not taking slots, the RTMC said to me, MEC, people are not taking slots. Should we stop this system or not? I said no. In April, we went on a media campaign, saying to people, please take up your slots. 130,000 did not take up the slot. So it tells you we must move away from the acrimonious blame game, pointing fingers and say, government, let's do our part. Increase the number of DLTCs, sort machinery, make sure the in-artist booking system works.
So MEC, this is all coming up a bit later.
Take up the slots.
Take up the slots, and I'm agreeing with you. So, but let's talk. Those are great solutions. I know you can't give everything away, but if you just tuned in, I'm speaking to MEC Jacob Mamabolo about Gauteng's driving licenses. It seems that the Transport Minister has some good news for a Friday coming out later. Can we just talk, MEC, about the hours? Why? I know there's an extension on the weekends, which is helping. It is alleviating at the traffic departments working on weekends, trying to get more people through. Can we not make the hours longer? And I understand that there's got to be staff doing this work, but with the kind of backlog you're dealing with, is there not a way for us to be running till, say, 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night? People have got jobs, they've got schools, they've got families. Surely we can push that out to make it more convenient for people to come through and get their jobs. Is that even something you'd consider?
So
have you spoken about it?
November last year in Gauteng, we announced that we're going to work during weekends.
Yes.
So what impact did that make? So it's good. We're going to continue with that. In July 2020 to December, we did 280,000 license applications processed. The next province that came out after us did 87,000. Then we introduced overtime. We introduced weekends.
Okay.
Then in January 2021 to July 2021, we doubled our performance. We did 500,000, 500,000. The next province after us did only 220,000, according to RTMC. Now, the issue of weekends, more hours, more time, is definitely part of the new normal.
Okay.
Now, it's like you already know, and I won't speak to this point much, but we are also looking at, with these new ones who are starting next week, having the standard time, permanently fixed at late to accommodate those people. So that is part of the package of solutions we put in place. So we're going to do that.
So it sounds like it's going to be a good news Friday as far as traffic and your licenses in Gauteng is concerned. MEC, I've got to go to the health briefing in a moment with Minister Joe Patla. Last question to you. So we're waiting for the Transport Minister to talk about these ideas, these solutions that you're only alluding to. It's a bit later today. We'll give you details later. Very briefly, but I need to get to this briefing from the Health Minister. Do you queue for your driver's license? Where do you go?
I did my driver license. I do it because I live in Pretoria. So I do it at Centurion.
Okay.
So that's why I do my even the motor vehicle.
So you feel our pain. You feel our pain.
You know what? I go to DLTCs.
Yeah.
I see it daily.
Yeah.
So every time I go there, I talk to them, to the applicants. So I can assure you, we know and feel the pain. And I'd like lastly to say to the people, don't panic.
Okay.
Don't work with syndicates, because we have unleashed a forensic investigation on corruption. So people shouldn't be panicked, shouldn't do anything that they shouldn't do. Wait for government. We understand the impact of COVID-19. Minister is making an announcement. This province will help you, and we have got a set of solutions. No need to panic.
I've got a feeling, MEC, you're going to be back with me on Monday to talk about this good news that you're going to talk about.
If you invite me, we always come. I'll be there.
I'm inviting you Monday.
And then we can give you the details. Much more clearer.
I'm inviting you for Monday. MEC, thank you very much indeed. I need to leave it there. Some good news, Minister. MEC, just stay seated for me for a moment, if you don't mind. MEC Jacob Mamabolo, some good news from the Transport Minister, we're told, coming out later for our driving licence issues in Gauteng. But